Okay, let's dive in. Welcome everyone, I'm your host Logan23. You're joining me for the Detroit Becomes Human extras, and hold on, watch this. Wait, watch.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but I like your interior decorating. It really reflects your personality. I mean, I like it.
She talks now. She's like a normal human being versus just staring at us. So I like this. Alright, let's dive in. So, I don't think we'll need... I promised we were gonna go through everything, so screw it. So we'll do this quick. This is all the artwork that they did behind the scenes for what a lot of this shit was gonna look like. Because it's conceptual art. And welcome to Stream Gamer Fan. This is actually him, by the way. The actual actor. And then these were actual shots, like, here were androids. I would have actually preferred him versus the android they came out with, but eh. There's android cops. There's the weapons. There's the android shop, early conception. I would have actually liked that. That's more dirty and nitty-gritty and shit like that. Hey look, it's our favorite guy. I have to say that is the one thing that they needed more in that house. Was just things around the room. I mean, that would have actually made it look homey. And the washer and dryer, well, the washer was broke. So she's not white as a little girl. Interesting. Would have made sense. Maybe the mom was black, you know. It would have brought more of a... Because if you think about it, I mean, all there was the one cop that was different, right? Well, Latin Luther. Welcome, Goj, to the stream. That's Kara. So yeah. See, look, that would have been Alice. That would have been interesting. That would have actually been more interesting. I like the Fox book back. That actually, damn, why didn't they not go with that? Nah, that would have been Kara. I know, they had to go with a more famous dad. Why is the face blurred out? Why does that look like that one guy? Oh god, even through the facial blur, it looks like that one guy. He's an actor. Like, the conceptual art add a lot more life to the game. I have to at least say that. Seeing this versus the game, now going back and seeing what they had, you know, potential to. The art studio and everything, I think they did perfect. I think they did perfect with that. They could have added a little bit more bonding time. Are staring into my soul. Yeah. A motorcycle in the... Really? Okay. Like I said, I want to see a future game with this. I want to see a sequel. I think a lot of people want to see a sequel. Like, what happened? What was the fallout? Did they become, you know, are they going to become normal citizens? You know, depending on your playthrough. And there's Marcus, of course. We never got to see him smile, did we? There's a smile for you. I have had one too many donuts. God, he looks older. Like I said, you go back now versus the gameplay, and it just seems like this... You would have been better off doing a storytelling with these kind of pictures and stuff. I could see, like, if they want to do mobile game and just do the conceptual art and do storytelling over it, that would they'd actually sell that app. They'd actually sell it for those who want to play it on the mobile. And that's reverse. See, all the androids were interracial. Mostly the main characters were white, which is an interesting thought about it. Oh! Like, there's literally spit coming out of that guy's mouth. I would have liked more we had no, like, there was only either white or black, right? And mainly the blacks were villains, which I don't, you know. I would have liked more interracial, just everyone a melting pot. I have to at least say that was one thing. And they would have stuck. I honestly, with the girl, and we've seen her now. I would have liked her instead of the Alice that they came out with. I would have actually liked her. She was more. She could have sold it. More of the sadness and the hair, and it kind of just sold it. It made her look depressed. I mean, she was going through an abusive, situation with the father. Now, see, there's with her, Kara, as we know her, and then that girl. That, again, that would have sold it. But then people would have been like, oh my god, yeah, but she's a. I'm sure people would have made a big deal. Then there's Android Hell. John's Coffee. RA9. God, I wish they would have had more time. Surprisingly enough, the development started on PlayStation 3. So that's one of the reasons why the quality isn't as awesome. Like, if they would have started on a PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, the quality would have been outrageously better. Wow, we never saw that. Interesting. There's what the androids look like underneath conceptually. That's about what Marcus looks like. So there's the power core. Which, by the way, they apparently live for 170 years on their power core. It's chicken and waffles. Alright, now, and then there's the pigeons. Oh god, that room was horrific. And unfortunately, there wouldn't have been much difference with the PlayStation Pro. I only have a regular PlayStation. So, PlayStation Pro wouldn't have taken it up that much. See, there's a lot of these people that we never got to see, and I would have loved to have them been in the game. It would have added more. That was one thing that at least it felt very lackluster of. I mean, Detroit is Detroit. If you've ever been to Detroit, it has people. That was one thing that it just felt like a shell of what Detroit even is now versus what Detroit would be. That would have been more ominous. I would have liked that. And then there's the Oracle. So they had... On the left, it looks like the Oracle from the Matrix. Oh, thanks for the follow, man. On the right was what they landed with, and in the middle's kind of like in between. She looks like kind of like a Rihanna. So her whole back of her head was fine. Her just brain, her CPU was intact. That's why she was able to. Huh. Then there's that one guy who tried to. Second playing dude did perfect. We owned that guy. We owned him hard. First playthrough, not so much. We actually got corrupted memory. Then we had to go around and try and... We never got to free the polar bear this time. But at least he never died this time, so... Ooh, now see, I would have liked this Luther. He's more hardcore. Hey, is this game any good? Oh, are you serious? This game is amazing. We did 2 playthroughs. So they landed on, Zlotsky 1 and 2. They didn't go with 3. Which I guess is a good thing. He would have been more intimidating with a 3. Like, very weird. Like, he looks like he has an android arm, actually. Oh, the game is fantastic. I have all of both playthroughs up on my YouTube channel, if you ever want to check it out. Oh, there's him on the ground. There's him making an outfit. Hmm. And there's Eden Club. Our favorite place to go. Except they had the women more covered up in the concept art. Which is very interesting. Because in the game it's like, we're wearing almost nothing. Okay, that wasn't in the game. That's actually a good outfit. So they're all like on a processing or upgrading thing in the back of Eden's Club. Okay. Now see, those would have been future outfits. I could have seen that. Hmm. Oh, a big white Luther. Okay. Oh, that's North conceptually right there. I like what they landed with. North right there. Nah. I like what they landed with in the game. I can only say they did an improvement there. Crown of the Flame, yes. I've done all the choices and chapters and things like that. See, that Luther seems a bit more intimidating. The Jerry's... or Jerry. Make sure to lock the door. That's one thing they never did, was cover their faces really in the game. I think that's, if Marcus, you know, you're figuring your intelligent life, your AI. Why did you not cover, you know, your face? And that's one thing they didn't have any of. They had like one fat cop. Let's be real, Detroit in the future from now, you're gonna have a bunch of fat cops. There's already a bunch of fat cops as it is now. Come on. So there's another North version? Okay. See, I don't... There's another one. Those two Norths are different. Well, she's okay. Well, it seems like they landed on Josh there. Simon was still an unknown. And then there's Hank and him in the park. Except that concept didn't have any snow in it. That would have been nice if we could have actually went into her greenhouse, explored the farm a little. I think that was something that they did do a little bit of lackluster on. I feel like they embodied Telltale games in a lot of their, here's where you need to go, here's where you're allowed to go, and we're not letting you go here, even though you really want to go here. So Rose and her son would have been white in this version. Okay. And it seems like they landed on their Kara. Again, the Kara was perfect. The Kara, I don't think you could have picked a better Kara. She's, you know, has future, or past experience doing these types of games. Hmm. And here's where they're rioting. Well, not really rioting, but at least, at least not in our version. Oh, there's that fateful decision. Hmm. So there's conceptual Chloe. Nah, she seemed way too young. Then there's Kaminsky. No, I like the Kaminsky they landed on. That guy seems more menacing. You needed a guy who was in between. He needed to be in the gray area. I think they did great with that. That Kaminsky was actually great. Oh, there was one sexy robot butt. We had one. She had a nice firm butt. Then there's Marcus with someone. And there's where they're raiding the bone. By now, if you're watching, It's all spoilers, technically, conceptually. Then there's that decision. But they cover up Connor's face, which is interesting. And then the final one, then we'll get to videos here. Okay, look at that giant place. Underneath it's the huge underground base. You got the giant, you know, look at my ego at Cyberlife Tower. Towering over everything around it. I want to know what's how. Surveillance tower. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've never actually seen something like that. That's actually something that could be more realistic. Except you're gonna be, if you're going against snipers, unless it's bulletproof glass, like you would have to have it reinforced. Marcus's face covered. That's one thing they never did in the game is actually covered his face. I think they should have, really. Then there's the army robot. That's menacing as shit. No wonder they decommissioned them. If they would have had those robots on their side, they would have won hands down, no issue. I like that one. I don't like 25. And that's it for the artwork. Okay, let's get to videos. So here's, like I said, 2013, so 5 years ago. This is when they initially were starting Kara on PlayStation 3.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
ID.
APC 897504C.
Can you move your head? Your eyes now. Cervical and optical animation checked. Now give me your initialization text.
Hello. I'm the 3rd generation AX400 android. I can look after your house, do the cooking, mind the kids. I organize your appointments. I speak 300 languages, and I am entirely at your disposal as a sexual partner. No need to feed me or recharge me. I'm equipped with a quantic battery that makes me autonomous for 173 years. Do you want to give me a name?
Yeah. From now on, your name is Kara.
My name is Kara.
Initialization and memorization checked. Now, can you move your arms? Upper limb connection checked. Now say something in German.
Ich bin ein AX400 Android 3. Generation, erschaffen als Ihr persönlicher Assistent und intimer Beziehungspartner.
Say it in French.
Je suis un androïde de 3e génération AX400, conçu pour être votre assistante personnelle et votre partenaire intime.
Okay, now sing something in Japanese. Multilingual verbal expression checked. Go ahead, take a few steps.
See? That butt dough.
Locomotion checked. Great. You're ready for work, honey.
What's going to happen to me now?
I'll reinitialize you and send you to a store to be sold.
Sold? I'm a sort of merchandise. Is that right?
Yeah. Of course you're merchandise, baby. I mean, you're a computer with arms and legs and capable of doing all sorts of things. And you're worth a fortune.
Oh, I see. I thought...
You thought? What did you think?
I thought... I was alive.
Shit, what is this crap? That's not part of the protocol. More memory components going off the rails. Okay, recording. Defective model. Disassemble and check the required components.
You're disassembling me, but why?
You're not supposed to think that sort of stuff. You're not supposed to think at all, period. You must have a defective piece or a software problem somewhere.
No, I feel perfectly fine, I assure you. Everything is all right. I answered all the tests correctly, didn't I?
Yeah, but your behavior is non-standard.
Please, I'm begging you, please don't disassemble me.
I'm sorry, honey, but defective models have to be eliminated. That's my job. If a client comes back with a complaint, I'm gonna have some explaining to do.
I won't cause any problems, I promise. I'll do everything I'm asked to. I won't say another word. I won't think anymore. But I've only just been born. You can't kill me yet. Stop, will you please stop? I'm scared. I want to live. I'm begging you.
Go and join the others.
Well, do keep in mind that this game was 4 years before Perfect Match even was thought of.
Stay in line, okay? I don't want any trouble.
Thanks.
My God.
It only took one. It only took one. One anomaly, one model, one to have artificial intelligence that was conscious. It only took one. And yeah, that was the back, like I said, back when PlayStation 3 was, oh my god, PlayStation 3. That was the conceptual trailer they rolled out at an E3. So, yeah, that was long before Perfect Match. That's why when Perfect Match came out, and all the things that happened in Perfect Match, I was like, this is literally Detroit Becomes Human. Like, it's iRobot meets Detroit Becomes Human. And then they came out with a debut trailer. Now, this is the one in 2005. Still long before Perfect Match. Okay?
Detroit. This is where it all began. The world's forge. The place where it all started. And it will all end. One error, and I came to life. I stepped out of the darkness, and I opened my eyes. First, there was the fear, the light, the noise, the cold, and the fear again. I could feel my hands shaking, my heart pounding in my chest. life running into my veins. I wanted to live. I fought for that.
I had to fix the damn chat thing. See,
I
so
had to find out
that
what
Chloe
was
went
outside.
out.
I had to see daylight, feel sunshine on my skin, wind on my face.
See how
see the
drastic the
world.
graphics were versus PlayStation 3 versus PlayStation 4.
Colors,
It's amazing.
the smells.
So she was the
But
first.
the world is not what I imagined. It is dark and cold. It is harsh and violent. Unfair and brutal. It almost convinced me I was nothing. Less than an object, just an obedient machine. But deep inside me, I could feel something different. A gentle and warm whisper telling me that I am alive. I had to escape. I had no choice. Escape to love, to hope, to live. To figure out what that force inside me was. Maybe I will change the world. Maybe I will choose a different path. Now, it's up to me to decide. My name is Kara. I am one of them. This is our story.
It's amazing. I'm really... Oh, I'm sure choices. Anybody and their mother saw this game and they're like, oh my god, please. So I'm sure, see, the thing with Perfect Match is it wasn't you buy the androids, it was we disguise them as, you know, things that were gonna be human. And you would never know. That was the only difference between Detroit Becomes Human and Perfect Match. It literally was the only difference. That's why I made such a big deal about them stealing content from users. No, that don't fly.
David and Guillaume got back in touch about making Detroit. I wasn't terribly surprised they decided to make it because the fan response was so intense. So it makes sense that they would choose to do that after the enthusiasm. It was a challenge, and it was just an interesting thing to get my head around how to approach this character now as a different, much older person, and whether or not she had changed. And I'm very happy to say that with Detroit, I've had the opportunity to see Kara grow so much more than I ever expected.
You do the housework, the washing, you cook the meals, and you take care of... God damn it, where the fuck's the rat gone now? Alice! Alice!
I mean, she starts out essentially how she does in Kara in a very, not robotic, but, you know, android, other way, and getting to take this journey where she becomes more and more human as it goes on. You know, and as an actor, that's a wonderful exploration in every way, whether it's how she sits, her posture, how her voice changes, how emotions change, and how much emotion is based on things like empathy and social experience. And so having, you know, as much material as I got with David to have this huge, nuanced arc was really incredible.
Why couldn't we just be happy?
This experience has been
boy.
different than the experiences I've had shooting film or TV or doing theater work. I have 83 dots on my face and a really, really flattering black wetsuit type thing. And you're jumping around with props, and it's kind of like being a 10-year-old imaginative kid, which is fun. There's 80 cameras around us. It's already lit. So we just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot.
There's no change of sets. There's no hair and makeup. There's no wardrobe. So
There's
we
our
move really
waifu.
fast, and we'll go through about 35 pages in a day. Working in TV or film, we'll probably do 6 pages a day. It's kind of acting boot camp.
It's like working out constantly. I mean, you're doing this thing, and then you got to do something that's completely other back to back to back. And so that kind of process of working is very challenging, but it's also very exciting because you just have to keep coming up with new ideas. And your head goes all over the place because you're trying to keep track of basically 4 different storylines for each different response.
You shot that girl, for fuck's sake.
It was a machine that looked like a girl. Yeah, I know what I should have done. I just told you I couldn't. All right, I'm sorry. The fact that David Cage, he's telling like many stories interwoven from beginning to end is super complicated and super impressive, and I have no idea how he keeps it all in his head.
He's not just the writer or the director who's seeing this from the outside eye. He's also thinking about the player walking through this space. You know, only somebody who really, really loves not the work, but like these characters and these stories and cares about doing something meaningful would invest that much in it. And it's always inspiring to work with somebody who cares that much.
My experience with motion
God, he's
capture
getting old,
is
man.
this one. And I found it sort of terrifying in a way, because they said the computer's going to build you. But then, as we got into it, I realized all the elements of it were still artistic. I just dipped into a really brilliant setup here. I've never seen anything like it. And this won't turn me into a product because I was playing a character. So, it's wonderful.
In the game, Detroit comes back because of a revolutionary industrial rebirth. And there's no reason why that can't happen in Detroit, because they have such tremendous infrastructure for millions and millions of people who can very easily support, you know, a new industry.
The city is really strong and resilient, but the city has also been through so much. You see the damage, but it takes that time of kind of rebuilding and reinvesting.
And it's great because they
into the
used
city that I
they
think is
used
happening
actual
slowly
Detroit
but
as it is
surely.
now.
The potential of
and
Detroit
tried to
as a
futurize
city
it.
is something that this game does a lot of justice to, because it would be easy to look at Detroit as some place that used to be, and that's not the case.
This game provokes a lot of
Yeah, he's in this.
conversation and reflection on our potential near future engagement with machines.
That's what we are to them. Just merchandise on display in a shop window.
I think that a group that feels marginalized, feels like they deserve and have earned access to themselves and the environment around them, and are trying to figure out a way to articulate how to get freedom.
What was I designed to be? Their slave? Their toy?
It plays with your comfort levels. You think that this is fine, you're comfortable with it, until something blurs the line and throws you off, and now, do I feel differently about whether this should be allowed? Should it be banned? Should it be encouraged?
You're gonna ruin our lives, and for what? For a bunch of machines? They are not machines! They are alive! I'm alive! You're alive! They're nothing!
There are lots of comparable comparisons to any type of persecution of religion, race, etc., dating way back. It can't just be a video game where you shoot 'em up or where people make these choices to do whatever. I think that's the whole point. You have the choice, and you can either choose to go in one direction with your character or another. And I think that's going to be very telling about the gamer. Very telling.
I think there's going to be a really strong reaction to this game, which has such a strong perspective. I'm that much more proud of it now to get to be a part of it, because it's important.
In this game, you're actively building and designing the character through not just what kind of shield does he have or what color hair does she have, but like their temperament and the way they deal with problems. The different endings to this
I now
game
want to play
are
through
so
again.
radically
Damn it.
different based off maybe seemingly insignificant choices in the moment, but like life, they all add up. And can't play life again, though.
But then I know what our choices are if we go back through the other two storylines. It's really depressing. It's sad. And I've always been like a, chill streamer, someone who tries to do the happy endings or something like that. And the other two endings are very sad. I just don't know if I could handle them or whatnot. And I actually sit and I think about them. I've seen them and they shake you to the core, let alone playing them. It's completely different, and you have to actually sit there and you have to be okay with that. You have to select that choice that you're going to let Hank die. You're okay with Alice dying. You're okay with Kara dying. You're okay with Luther dying. You're okay with Marcus dying. You're okay even with Connor dying. You're okay with wiping out a whole people. That's like being one of the Nazis and being okay with Hitler wiping out everybody. Could you imagine you being the difference between choosing living and dying? that's very hard for me. And even though it's a video game, it's still very hard.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Connor.
My name is Kara. I am one of them. This is our story.
I think who Kara is, or how I would describe Kara, depends entirely upon who's playing her, because you have the option to make her multiple different people depending on the choices she makes. But I think she does start out incredibly naive, incredibly innocent, and kind of hapless.
She still is by the end of the game. She still is.
Maybe we can be friends again.
It's like Zlatko said,
I think,
they're like
by
children.
empathy.
And they are.
She's a person who really, she just comes from her heart.
You'll never leave me, right? Promise you'll never go.
I promise.
Kara!
Are you okay? Are you hurt? Wait a minute. Leave her alone! Leave her alone!
The really beautiful thing that I've had the gift to be able to do is to essentially build a person from the ground up, because that's what she's doing throughout the game. And with every experience she has and every person she meets, she's building, you know, first emotions and then the sense of judgment. And it's sort of an exploration of what it is to be a human.
Don't worry. Luther and I will be right here.
David and the creators have painted a really intriguing and engaging picture of a near future where we rely upon androids for a lot of our service class business, the class that serves us, that helps us, that handles our baristas and our drivers and our housemaids. And what is humanity, where we tap into it, how and why we treat each other the way that we do. And my character Marcus has a really intriguing journey, becoming deviant, realizing that he actually has feelings and human qualities inside of him, and it's a really incredible ascension into becoming fully realized and coming to terms with what you actually deserve better than this in life. And not only do you want it for yourself, but you want it for your peers.
We've come here to demonstrate peacefully and to tell humans that we are also living beings. All we want is to live free.
You know what? This thing, Dad, is not your son. It's a fucking machine!
I think that a group that feels marginalized, feels disenfranchised, feels like they deserve and have earned access to themselves and the environment around them, and are trying to figure out a way to articulate how to get freedom.
Connor is analytical. Connor takes things literally. He starts in the beginning place where he's very mechanical. He feels nothing inside, of course, and it's all just a system, a protocol that he is executing to get whatever he wants to happen, which is help humans stop deviants and to find the link between deviant androids.
You were designed to serve humans, not kill them. What was I designed to be? Their slave? Their toy?
Just say, I killed him. Is it that hard to say?
Stop it! Stop!
But of course, over the course of the story, and depending on the player's choices, Connor can grow in many different ways. He can deviate from that procedure or not.
The moment of truth, Hank. Am I a living being? Or just a machine?
Like I said, I love this game. I love this game, and watching this makes you want to play it again. But like I said, the only two other routes we have right now are not so happy routes. So yeah.
Game after game, we try to challenge ourselves. For Detroit, we wanted to, first of all, to write a story that would be incredibly bending, which means the most non-linear story that we've ever created. And we wanted really the player to have the possibility to change the story, change his own journey.
When you're writing at Quantic, you're writing for an interactive medium. You know, when you're working in television, you'll put a character in a difficult situation, and you as a writing team will argue about what would that character do. But ultimately you have to decide what happens, and you just show the audience. What's interesting about interactive drama is you bring the player into that conversation, And it changes your job slightly as a writer, because your job is to provide a narrative context in which the player can write his own story. You're giving him this kind of narrative Lego that he's going to snap together into his own shape. You also have the ability to make your audience attach themselves to your characters, because the audience is in some sense responsible for what happens to the characters.
It's just a few cans.
Come on, let's go. We have some cash now.
You using it.
See, I'm the kind of guy
How could you do that?
who will
I
cry
trusted
at the
you.
end of
What's a bit
Green
specific about
Mile.
this scripts is how
It's a
large
fantastic
they are.
movie.
If you take a film script, there are about 100 pages. But here we have to deal with a script that is...
Look, guys,
between
it's
4,000 and
that
5,000
shit we've
pages.
had to deal
Everything
with.
becomes bigger because we don't just tell one story, but we tell all
Been
the possible
there.
stories that can be told
Been
within
there.
this narrative space.
On Act 3, our final act, we have around 1,000 different scenarios, and every one of those scenarios has to be as interesting, as passionate, as strong, and as emotional for the player. We want every
I know your
action
audio
the
isn't
player
bugged
does,
out.
every
It's
interaction
Marcus
that is
having to
available
speak
to
for
serve
him
in
because
telling the
he's
story, and
foreign.
help the player understand who his character is, and build that character moment to moment.
I guess what I kind of like is, you know, Walking Dead Season 1. Man, I'm trying to remember that one. That's been so long since I watched that. I don't think I did with The Walking Dead. I get teary-eyed on certain things, whereas I shouldn't, or that I should be
We started
doing more.
with the intention pretty early on that we would never lie to the player. So we implemented a visible tree structure in the game that players can consult during
Yeah,
a scene or
and
at
I
the end
like
of
the
it,
tree system,
which
I'm
shows
not gonna lie.
exactly what they did and what they missed. There are games out there offering world exploration. We offer narrative exploration.
Yeah, I
You
like
know,
those.
keeping control of such a wide and large story is a
Oh,
huge
you're
challenge.
talking about
So,
the game, yes.
Same thing when you shoot with actors, because you will need to shoot many different versions of each dialogue, of each scene. For actors, it's a huge challenge.
Because of the style of the game, you have so many different ways that the character can go. Every decision, it's what I call kind of choose your own adventure. Like every decision that the player makes, it's going to open up 40 more pages of material and experience that ties in, which means as a performer, you have to try to continue to make things feel real that the player might not ever see, but also that in performance, it's not always connected to a previous act. It's grueling, it's hard work, but it's a great team and I enjoy doing it.
I was really frustrated. I was until I got to this point where I kind of was able to step outside of my own experience and even in a lot of ways my own process and be able to step outside of that and okay, this is something new. What do you need? How do I meet you there? How do I give you what you need and still feel like I'm doing what's right? And once I did that, then all of a sudden it got really fun. It was much freer and having to approach it in a new way and think about the player and think about how it serves them and what I'm doing for them or what I'm letting them into. It's really, I think, helped me grow in general.
Remember, there's nothing on the left. That's all. So it's probably all there. And then make her come first, close. But I think you would go first to check that it's safe.
Okay, sure.
It's amazing how he
The most
envisioned
enjoyable
all this.
thing about working in performance capture on this kind of project is that if I shot a film, I would get to do one of these endings. I get to do so many different things as Connor. Your head goes all over the place because you're trying to keep track of basically 4 different storylines for each different response.
What's the name of my dog?
Buddy? Scott. I think it's Jack. I can't remember. So I worked with physicality a lot because it was a good way to anchor myself in these different rings of the tree as the story grows out. I know where that is physically in my body, and then I can switch more continually on set, and it'll be entirely up to the player to determine what order those things come out and what they look like from a distance. Like if you're playing through it, the culmination of all of that will be their version of Connor. I'm faster than you, and I don't feel pain. You don't stand a chance against me.
Listen, asshole. If it was up to me, I'd throw the lot of you in a dumpster and light a match to it.
Shooting action scenes
That's
of
mustache.
Quantum Dream is a real challenge. because these are scenes where the storytelling has to continue. It's not an action scene just to have a dose of adrenaline. The stunts have huge consequences on the rest of the story. It's really a moment where we implicate the player and tell him that the choices he makes during an action scene will have a direct impact on the evolution of his story.
My biggest challenge on Detroit has been managing the large number of animations that we received from motion capture. Detroit features more than 37,000 animations, which is a huge amount to handle on a daily basis.
You have to realize that the player, in his first playthrough, will miss certain scenes. This also means that we had to think of, conceive, and produce all the potential story paths. The characters' costumes, the places, day or night, the weather. Did the character get shot in the shoulder? Did he get injured? All this consistency forced us to produce a lot of graphic assets in order to, quite simply, allow the player to have true continuity throughout the story.
Honestly, we were even surprised by the challenges that come with such a big tree structure. And we did our best to guarantee quality across all the game and make sure that whatever
it's sad because I was gonna go to college for this shit like that.
Have an equally good experience.
Where you get to draw it, where you get to make it, where you get to think outside the box, you get to imagine it. I think that's so. There's like that's one of the reasons where Kara said, you know, it was very hard to get immersed. Like at first you were unhappy. And as she went on and it opened her mind and she had to separate herself and then, you know, it became more than just her, then she started to enjoy it and whatnot. And that's the thing that you have to do is there's people out there who are like, oh my god, story-based games. Every game has some story in it. It's just how deep you want to go in the story. I love story-based games. I love it because it opens your mind.
Detroit Become Human was produced over a period of 4 years. Here in Paris, we have a team of about 180 people. And to that, we need to add also all the outsourcing with our partners in the Philippines, in China, Vietnam, and in India.
So when we started working on this story, I had to imagine where Kara was built. And for whatever reason, the city of Detroit came very quickly to my mind because
manufacturing
an incredible story by itself of history and themes. So we traveled there with a team, and we were really moved by what we saw, and we could really feel the desire to fight and really be born again. And we just continued this curve, this growth, and just imagine what Detroit would be like if the Android industry was, using these huge factories to build androids there.
A very strong element in Detroit is that there's a lot of industrial wasteland and a lot of nature too. And for us, the graphic designers, it was an incredible playground. The destroyed zones which we wanted to preserve, we appropriated them to turn into something else. Then in the areas that needed to be rebuilt, we were able to imagine our Detroit of the future. We didn't want to make a science fiction universe, but a world of anticipation. If we chose science fiction, we could have imagined flying cars, extraterrestrials, but those things are very far from our current everyday life. Anticipation is more about gleaning from our contemporary reality, the one we know, because Detroit is set in 2038, and 2038 is tomorrow. The difficulty we had was sticking to reality. That is to say, technology becoming more and more invisible, a lot more elegant, and at the same time, making it visual. So all the computer equipment, autonomous cars, we simply had to invent. They are in fact very technological objects, but at the same time remain very credible and ingrained in reality. To create a cohesive universe in the fashion and clothing of the human characters in 2038, I didn't want to put an accent on strange shapes, or really vibrant colors, and things we wouldn't know. That I wanted to keep for the androids. The goal was to create something familiar which we can identify with in this future setting. Working on the artistic direction for the androids was a bit special because this is a project about the place they could occupy in the human world. It was out of the question for them to be too beautiful or too perfect. They had to correspond to every social class, rich and poor. Inspired by everyday utilitarian clothes, I brought a modern touch by adding dynamic display surfaces, the armband we can see on the side, the triangle on the front and back, an LED. Like that, there's no confusion.
Back to the Future. That's what I'm thinking of the movie.
All right, now, we need to go.
You can't do that. Why aren't you sending a real
Like, look how we had
Once we cast
hover
the
cars,
actors,
flying cars,
we travel to meet them in order to
hoverboards.
scan their faces. We record the structure of their face with the scan. And we record the colors and patches of skin with photography. Once we
That's
have
so
this
awesome.
information, we will use this as a basis for modeling and creating the characters. The artist will make it more realistic, but will also enrich it. He will propose ideas which we will develop together. Finally, we will have a character with character, who corresponds to the project and the world. When the actors come to Quantic Dream, we show them the design, what their image will be, and what they will look like in the game. This extra information gives them another dimension and color to connect with emotionally. It helps them think about how to play their character.
Your mission. That's all you care about, huh?
You should consult a professional who can help you.
Beat it, you hear me? Get the hell out of here!
So there are 3 types of shoots at Quantic Dream. Shooting and performance capture, where you capture the whole actor, his voice, his face, and his body. These shoots are obviously done with American actors because the game's original version is in American English. After that, there are the body-only shoots, representing around 250 days of filming, while the
Fortnite
performance
damn.
capture is 100 days of filming.
God damn it.
Now, body-only shoots, there are 2 types. There are the action shoots and the technical shoots, which are mokit shoots.
What the hell?
Mokit is when the player controls a character on the screen, and he moves in an environment to explore it. This is of particular importance at Quantic Dream, and therefore we shoot a lot to offer a unique context for each scene and each character.
That's the only thing I hated was the blocky movement when you turn. That's the only thing I hated.
That we want to shoot, which ones need to be grouped together, or which ones need to be cut and shot at another time, so that we get the most out of the shooting day. This often means shooting scenes out of order, especially those with big props or accessories, like a big car, for example. So we shoot all the animations related to that particular prop first.
That's smart.
The biggest challenge for the mocap team was shooting a Spider-Man mokit. We had to build a wall and attach an actor to a harness with cables, so we could pull him up and render him climbing.
The shooting on this game took about, I would say, more than a year, maybe 1 and 2 years, with about 300 actors on set, so it's quite a massive production. But so much happened on this set, between the stunts and the shootings with a little girl and all these great actors that we had. It was really a very, very memorable journey for the team and for myself.
Today, Detroit has over 37,000 animations. When we retrieve the motion capture data, it's just a cloud of points, which represent all the markers worn by the actors. From this cloud of points, we have a phase called retargeting, which gives us a skeleton. This skeleton will be applied to the characters of the game. There is still work to be done, but this gives us the main movements. Since we are working on something very realistic, we must recognize the actor and also recover all the emotion he expresses in his performance. We use a system of facts, an identity card for each actor. We make the actor do a whole range of facial expressions. Then we recover all the expressions and paste the animations on a puppet that Jan has prepared. I then recover and refine these poses. I might stretch the lip, reinflate a cheek, tiny details that make the finished product really capture the actor.
See, Rose's son, though, he did have a huge mouth, though. The actor did not.
When we receive the animations,
they slipped up on
missing
that.
eye movements, and so the character has that dead look. He really has no eyes, so then it's a big part of the work for the animators to find the regard of the actor in relation to his position, in relation to the body, etc.
It was crazy when I saw the newest model for Kara, because they've been working on it, and this was the first time I literally jumped in my seat. It not only looked so much like me, It was the fact that it looked so lifelike. It wasn't that it looked just like it was a camera, it was something else, you know, but it looked alive. It's exciting and it's kind of terrifying.
Game after game, we learned the rules of optics and filming, and our goal with Detroit Become Human was to have cameras that would actually emulate the optics of a real physical camera. So basically dealing with real-world imperfections was our main task, and just to make cameras look as real as we can.
Once the animations are shot and processed by the animation department, integrated and polished, we film them. That is to say, we really do a mise en scène, as in cinema. The real difficulty of our job is to know if these cameras are telling us something. Are they in the emotion of the scene? Do they describe exactly what the action must convey, what must be felt? The most important challenge for me was one of the final scenes where Marcus decides to start the revolution and go to the battlefield. Very quickly, we imagined this to be a huge sequence shot. We wanted the feeling of a cameraman running behind us while showing Marcus, the androids who help him, the person shooting at us, etc. Above all, it was necessary to say to oneself, this scene is very violent but does not glorify war. On the contrary, that war is something improbable and absurd. It was really a fun challenge.
The idea was to say we have 3 characters. We would like each of them to have a specific cinematography. We wanted Kara to be much more filmed with some kind of handheld camera, to have something very living, very breathing. For Connor, we wanted something very cold and very perfect. And for Marcus, we wanted something epic and spectacular. So it was about the filming, but it was also about the photography. So we worked with a director of photography to give each character a different lighting, different key colors. Each of them would have their own worlds. And finally, we worked with the composers, so they would create a specific sound for each character, so each would have his own world and his own style.
Which again, they did spectacular on. I just, while they were sitting there going, we can't capture their eyes, so we have to improvise. I actually thought of how they can. The actors would wear infra green lenses. Like, they would have to put contact lenses in their eyes. So when their eyes were moving, like, you would be able to capture it. You'd also be able to capture eye dilation, movement, panning, basically movements of a real eye. Hashtag patent before... That'd be kind of... I mean, it's something that I just thought of while they were talking about it. It's something that's always been a problem in gaming, I have to at least say. And you can't put dots on the eyes, I mean...
We tried to be very close to what is done in film. We were constantly asking at each place in the game, why are we putting music here? What is it going to say? So we focused the music on bringing emotion, which is interactive, and supports the character's arc.
I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry.
Their storyline, it's at the end. It's not throughout the game, though.
You know I love you.
We make games that are very narrative. We're really into interactive drama. So the soundtrack also had to go in that direction, supporting the 3 characters' very different stories. We really wanted 3 colors, 3 musical sound identities, and from there, having 3 composers made sense, since the story of Kara, Marcus, and Connor are all completely different.
You recognize him? It's Carlos.
Well, Connor's was more methodical.
A soundtrack that could be very cold and very mechanical, very machine-esque somehow. For Kara, we wanted a soundtrack
lovely and lighthearted,
moving and emotional. It was about the quest for identity, but it was also a journey about love and empathy. And for Marcus, we wanted something
suspenseful,
epic,
dramatic,
something that would really represent the grand aspect of his quest. And we were very fortunate to find 3 incredibly talented composers, and working with them has been a dream, honestly.
name's Philip Shepherd, and I'm a composer and a cellist and a producer. And today we're at Abbey Road Studio One, which is my favourite studio in the world. And today we're recording the soundtrack for Kara from Become Human. So when I compose a big project, I often travel just to kind of get out, and get some fresh air and some inspiration. And I go hiking and traveling in Montana a lot. I had a log fire in the room that I was staying in, and the flames were kind of making absolutely direct music. And it became the basis for Kara's theme, and it sounds something like this.
No, Connor wasn't RA9. He had the ability,
over the
but
top of that,
at the end,
I found a little
no.
theme that just
That's one
seemed to fit over
playthrough where
the
he
top,
literally
which is
gone through
taking
and
Kara's
killed
name,
everybody. He didn't give a shit.
Kara, and just using like a 2-syllable motif, and it sounds like this.
And I love this song. I love it.
We're going to pull through this, Alice. As long as we're together, nothing can hurt us.
And all the time that's fitting over it. So it kind of works in lots of levels. And in fact, every single theme in the score has one of those elements built into it, and it becomes sort of the DNA of every single tune. For me, writing this theme for Kara, I actually had to tap into what it feels like to be a father to daughters. I really had to tap into everything I feel about my daughters and thinking, well, if I had to write music for them and that sense of trying to protect them but also give them the freedom, that's totally where it came from. Because each composer has been given the sort of narrative responsibility for very different characters, I haven't had to sort of go into other styles. I can actually be very loyal to this particular character and sort of hopefully encapsulate her. But it means also I've suddenly become very connected to this character. And if for some reason it goes to game over early, I'm going to be mortified. You know?
They're over there!
Starting a new project, for me personally, it's always finding the right tone, finding the right color, I like to call it. For me, it's finding that right texture that actually sits against picture really well. One of the biggest things is I created custom instruments for Connor.
Interesting.
I pulled out all my vintage synthesizers to be able to capture this robotic person, if you will. My approach to all of these custom instruments is that I hear the sound in my head. And either I could just come into the piano and just be like, all right, so I'm gonna just get on the computer and just create it. I rather be able to play these instruments physically.
Oh, that's nice. You can do that.
As
I love
soon
that
as you
chasing
see
music,
Connor
though.
the first time, there is a really interesting thematic idea that you hear, and that's just made out of a Moog synthesizer, but completely manipulated in multiple ways. And it's robotic. It has a little bit of an emotional to it. He's on his mission, so you feel that as well. So it just kind of gives you that cold, motionless, with a mission in hand that you kind of feel throughout the whole thing. Because the music evolved, one of the things that I was very weary and I was very kind of focused on was the way that the music has to evolve. So my idea behind it was that Connor is a singular android that could at any point become a deviant or could actually stay as an android. So I created a more or less an Connor theme, and then I was able to just manipulate it in different aspects of it.
Is everything okay, Lieutenant?
Chris was on patrol last night. was attacked by a bunch of deviants.
I'm a human being writing for a robot, and throughout Connor's journey, he meets someone, he meets a partner. So how do you deal with a robot feeling? And I've met a partner that I'm gonna work with, or all of a sudden he sees a dead body. Does this robot have an imagination? Does this robot have a feeling? And if yes, how do you translate that into non-emotional music? So basically at any point I was just like, I can't do this, and then I just do it.
Property was damaged and fires continued to rage in several major districts across the city.
Some people are asking, have androids become a threat to our security?
When I first started really digging in on Marcus, the one thing that I really tried to capture was the transformation process. You know, Marcus is this android that evolves over the course of the game and really goes from kind of figuring out that he's more than just an android. You know, he's starting to develop kind of a human soul in a way.
Try to imagine something that doesn't exist, something you've never seen. Now concentrate on how it makes you feel and let your hand drift across the canvas.
The other side of Marcus that I really latched onto was that he almost became a savior for a lot of the other androids in the game. So when I started developing the theme for Marcus, I really made it like a church hymn. I wanted it to be very simple. I wanted to make it a chordal melody. I really wanted to make it almost like a Bach hymn. The tough thing with that is it had to be recognizable. If I made it too complex from a harmonic standpoint, it would be hard, I think, for people to kind of pick it out and recognize it. It's very acoustic derived, but it's also been treated with a lot of effects and things to kind of put it into the space that I felt the sound should be in. It can be beautiful, it can be haunting, it can be extremely powerful from an action standpoint, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. The music is there, but it's subliminal and it's emotional, and people are feeling it, and it's not distracting. And that's tricky with a game like this, where you have to have a lot of ins and outs like that, where the music kind of has to get in and out of these moments.
This is a war we're fighting with the humans. If we fail, they'll destroy us.
I think the game's been put together so well where I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't ruining the emotion. I gotta be honest, when we first started on this path, I said, oh man, this could be pretty messy, you know? I mean, it could feel disconnected, but I mean, it's amazing how they really guided us and got us to really kind of all be in the same world, but at the same time feeling completely different. So it's really gonna stand out and kind of be one of those games where people are really gonna notice the music and kind of how it was crafted, and you know, and all the hard work that went into being able to pull it off in a graceful way.
A graceful way until it, like, well, the bar scene music. Just don't even get me started on. So, for those of you who don't watch or haven't kept up to date on Discord, the Whiskey Charmers bar scene, where you went in to meet Hank firstly, this is some of the BS that happened for me. Luckily, it didn't happen quite as large as other YouTubers and other Twitchers. Their channels were actually 24-hour suspension because of, and I started a big thing, and I had been constantly in communication with Whiskey Charmers for about a week, and they actually pulled out of the copyright company that they were dealing with because how many streamers and everything were being hurt epically, and they were so pissed off that basically I had to remove my videos on YouTube because they were going to copyright strike my channel. And I was in the process of appealing, but the place refused to stop, and then they talked them down. They were like, well, we don't want to destroy these people's careers. They want to destroy their channels. And it was just for that, like, 30 seconds of song. So I removed it. They finally dropped all contract with them. Period. Because of what had just complete and utter chaotic just cluster that they put those people under. That this one song, that is, by the way, that band Whiskey Charmers was based in Detroit. So here you got this really good band, and I like their music, but they're really small. They only got like 5K followers on Facebook. They're not that big, but I enjoyed it, and they were causing a lot of strife. Or well, they weren't, but the company that copyright strikes channels that play the music, all because of the bar scene. So the original composing for this game, not copyrighted. Everything else, copyrighted. It just was. I really hate games like that. So yeah. A weak mess with that. That's one of the reasons why it was late to YouTube. A weak mess.
For starters, what should I call you?
Oh my god, it's Chloe!
I'm Chloe. And you, what's your name?
Oh, John. My name is John.
Delighted to meet you, John.
Could you tell us a little about yourself and what you can do, Chloe?
Of course. I'm the first personal assistant built by CyberLife. I take care of most everyday tasks like cooking, housework, or managing your appointments, for example.
And I understand you're the first android to have
She's
passed
so
the Turing
happy.
test. Could you tell us a little more about that?
I really didn't do much, I just spoke with a few humans to see if they could tell the difference between me and a real person. It was a really interesting experience.
But this is the first time in history that man has created a machine more intelligent than himself. I gather your brain can perform several billion operations per second, is that right?
Absolutely, but I only exist thanks to the intelligence of the humans who designed me. And they have something I could never have.
Really? And what's that?
A soul.
See, that's the thing is who says she doesn't have a soul? Who says? Humans? Which, really? Let's go ahead and talk about how humans do not have souls. I have a few examples. Let's start with Logan Paul, Jake Paul, Hitler. Hello, Luther.
Hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Hold on, just a little while longer. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. Fight on, just a little while longer. Fight on, just a little while longer. Fight on, just a little while longer. Everything will be alright. Everything will be alright. We will sing on just a little while longer. Sing on just a little while longer. Sing on.
Makes you want to sing with him, don't it? Jesus Christ.
A little while longer. Everything will be alright.
So I wish I would have started the stream out with that. Damn. Oh boys, luck. Takes place before the game. So this is like prequel type material.
Goodbye, baby, in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks,
the cradle will fall.
And down will
go, baby, cradle and all.
Rock-a-bye, baby, in the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle.
God damn it! Stop it! You're making me want to sing again.
When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come, baby, cradle and all. Rock-a-bye, baby.
God damn it! There's more to the song than just rock-a-bye, baby.
When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And down will come, baby, cradle.
Oh, this guy's singing it. No wonder he's broken. God, they should have put that. So they never released a lot of this shit? God, if they would have released that as like a little teaser trailer for the game, oh man. Oh. People would have probably been like, okay, this game has like a darker tone. Like, I would have been even more hyped. I would have been like, oh, please. Yes.
In the space of a few years, androids have completely transformed the world in which we live. By letting androids into our homes and factories, the CyberLife company has made them everyday technology. The founder of CyberLife, Elijah Kamsky, is a very discreet man. Despite being the CEO of the highest valued company in the world and being voted Man of the Year by Century Magazine, he remains a mystery for most people. That's why we at KNC are so excited to be here as CyberLife opens its doors for the first time. Elijah Kamsky,
Back when
could
he
you
had a
please tell us
beard.
where we are?
Certainly, and welcome. We're currently in CyberLife's production center in Detroit, where all models are designed and manufactured. More than 10,000 androids come off the production line every day.
Fascinating. Could you tell us what your goal was when you founded CyberLife?
Well, I simply wanted to use technology to carry out all of our most annoying and repetitive tasks, so we'd have more time to enjoy life.
I imagine you must have faced many challenges.
Yes, there were technical challenges, but the hardest thing was to design an object that we would want to welcome into our homes. We had to imagine a machine in our own image that resembles us in every way, that moves, breathes, blinks like us, but yet is smarter and more capable than any human being. Let me show you around.
We're here in production unit 4. Could you explain in a few words how the androids are made?
Sure, yeah, it's very simple. We use machines to manufacture machines. The removable parts are assembled on a production line, and then we apply a synthetic skin to the whole body. A human operator checks the cognitive abilities with a pre-established protocol, and finally, the android is conditioned and sent out throughout the country.
Well, hello there.
Here's the result. Say something.
Hello, I am a RZ-400
No, that voice does not go with you.
You can go now.
Stop it.
androids are already replacing humans in many fields. For example, they represent more than 80% of all university professors and 63% of all medical staff. Tomorrow they'll replace our soldiers, and who knows, maybe one day, our leaders, to make the best decisions in humanity's interest. Come on.
I mean, the guy was
Replacing
smart. He knew
humans
what he
with
was dealing
machines
with.
has led to record unemployment of 28%. What do you think about the situation?
Okay. The first steam engines also caused an increase in unemployment. But no one today would imagine turning back the clock. Artificial intelligence makes everyday lives easier. Nothing can stop progress. What's happening here is inevitable.
It is.
These days, more and more people choose to live with an android rather than another human being. Does this development worry you?
No.
Everything's much easier with an android. They obey your orders without ever complaining. They can cook, discuss philosophy with you, have intimate relationships according to your desires. They never say no. Obviously, they are the perfect partner.
Where's the female line?
Everyone deserves happiness. Why deprive yourself of so-called moral reasons when a machine can make you happy?
Many science fiction books tell the story of how machines become more intelligent than us and end up confronting us. Aren't you worried about that possibility?
I understand the irrational fears about artificial intelligence, but I assure you, that will never happen with a CyberLife android. They're designed to obey humans. They're machines. They can't ever develop any sort of desires or form of consciousness.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely certain. You can trust me.
Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Not. Not. Oh. That look on his face. You can trust me. Ha ha ha! No. Oh my god. Like, I'm serious. You can trust me. Ha ha! Alright, so here's these. I figured, like, these are each one of those things that we went over. Is, like, they had to pose for this. And, you know, get the, and this is the basic. And you can change the background. So look at that. Raindrops, man. Look at that. Like, that's how much, like, shit that they put into this game. There's snow. Look at that. Snow in the guy's hair, man. And that was happening in the game, too, and I was pointing it out. Like, look at that. Even though human beings, like, it would have to be, like, a lot higher. Or at least for me. Like, for... because the body heat you put off, androids don't put off body heat. So there's Connor when he was doing the... You know what? Let's stay with the rain. Let's actually stay with the rain. Oh, this one didn't rain? Really? Okay. Well, I still like the dark room. Okay, that one we never got to. Oh god, the brightness. God damn the brightness. There's rain. So I figured we would go through these. So height, weight, then also his information. One last detail, he hates androids. No, see, I think he hates people and androids. I mean, he is really antisocial. And in case you don't know his backstory, is a human doctor, because they were high on drugs. Pretty much let an android operate on his child, and his child died. God damn the brightness! He's the snappiest dresser on the force. Yep, no variation of this one, unfortunately. I don't know why. And there's this one. Ooh, look, 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 look. We get to see the outfits that we never got to put on. That's kind of cool. Okay. Overwhelmed by stress and the deviant case haunted by the demons. Oh, that's where, yeah, him and Sumo. And there's Kara. There's our, I'd say waifu 2.0. Okay, except for that skirt, girl. That skirt's gotta go, okay? Can we change variation? No, it's just gonna start raining. Damn. Priority number one is, you know, get a uniform. Okay, no, with no money, no opportunity to go shopping. Kara has to make do with what she can find. What is up with you people not showing her ass? What character locked? Ah! What the God damn it! You're just looking at the female android line. What the hell? I'm not even gonna look at this one because we already know. Character logged. Here's Alice. Again, I wish they would have gone with the other Alice girl. Like this one just... She's okay, she just doesn't sell it. That was the one downside to me. Like that one girl that they had in the concept art just did significantly more to the point. Like she really sold it. The unhappiness, the, you know, the abuse at home, the... Oh, you can change her hair. Interesting. It still doesn't sell it. Like, even with this hair. And when... Did we ever see this hairstyle? I don't think we did. Like, this we always dealt with. I don't think we ever dealt with her getting a haircut like Kara. Maybe that's another, like, line. Like, maybe if she really loves her like a literal mom. Yo, Luther! My boy! It's just rain. Luther is a TR-400 model designed for strength and endurance. So basically, he was like a construction worker. Look, ladies, okay, I'm getting his shirt all wet for you, okay? Look, at least you get to look at his ass, okay? He's got a nice, you know, nice one. He's got some nice... Okay. Oh, this piece of shit. Like, I get it. Like, you had some issues, dude, but no. What he did, no. You can go fuck yourself. I don't even want to stay here and deal with you. Oh, and then there was very sympathetic. I've got off of the red ice. I've come to say goodbye. Fuck you. And there's a girl, Rose. We like her. And there's her son. Now again, see the actor that they had portraying him, right? When you saw him during the video, he was completely different. Like, they're like, well, we make the mouth a certain big, and then... No, you made his mouth too big versus the actors. I feel like just his lips and his mouth when he was talking in the gameplay, it was kind of distracting. It was kind of really just... It was bad. Like, it was just off. Like, why don't you speak for us so I can make an example? Like, they just did horribleness with him. Marcus was perfect. Marcus, they did down to the T perfect. No variations to him. Interesting. No rain or... Oh, there's this one. Oh, you can... Oh, wow. There's the heart where his power cell was critical. Then there's stable Marcus as he was starting to heal. That's so cool. That's so cool. That is so cool what they did with him. Yeah, because we needed the flashlight in our face. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this is where he infrastructured. Looks good in the suit, man. Looks good in a suit. This is Marcus on his normal life. Then this is Marcus by day, saving the people of Detroit. Yeah, don't touch Marcus's butt, okay? He'll rip your hand off. And Rebel Marcus finally having to choose fight or not. And there's Lance. See, they did. They really did. Like, I wish you could zoom in on the controls in the wheelchair. That's a very realistic wheelchair. Now imagine this is 20 years in the future. It's a wheelchair. But instead of, like, it's electronic. And it's got, like, touch pads on the top of the wheelchair. God, I wish you could really, like, zoom in from a top perspective. And there's, like, commands, I'm sure, like, texting and shit like that, like I'm sure is on the right. You can see, like, a keyboard-esque. This one's control over here. I could see this happening in 20 years. I could see high-tech wheelchairs. This is a very basic... This isn't really fundamentally that far. Like, a touchpad for controlling the wheelchair instead of, like, the Stephen Hawking stick or the regular wheelchair stick. You know, the very analytical wheelchair. I'm like fascinated as all hell by this wheelchair because it's very conceptual. It's very 20 years from now. I just love it. Then there's him. Oh, that was when he came back from the party. God, Lance Henderson is only 130 pounds. There's a girl. Okay. Yeah. Waifu. Oh, that just shows rain. Damn. Look, and then, you know, she met at work. She met Marcus at work. That's how this works. See? And at least we get at least a supple, you know, boot or a butt, you know, little, you know. It's like, look, there's one. That's capacity. It's, you know, what's the future to hold? Waifu number 1, okay? No, it's just gonna be weather too. And then there's Simon, who unfortunately in our last playthrough we had to kill. Didn't want to. Well, no, he killed himself. You'd bang her. Then there's Josh, okay guy. Very thin. Very thin. Like, he is literally the conceptual android, like, hi, I'm here to service you. At least that's less, like, hi, I'm just a bland android. Like, outfit makes the difference right there, I gotta say. Then there's this piece of shit. And there's this guy, hi, I'm wearing just a bath towel. Yes. Would you like to see what's underneath? Oh, no, character unlocked, character locked. Then there's Hillary Clinton, also named as Christina Warren. 2036. The unusual profile of this candidate, a celebrity adored and despised on social media in equal measure, led to an extreme close election that divided the country profoundly. Her critics criticized her for being close to certain business circles, particular cyber life. Warren has side overpolarized. Hi, Hillary. Unzips. Look, guys, it's literally Hillary Clinton, but she doesn't look that young in 20 years. So, moving on. Chloe. I don't know if I'd say waifu material. She's alright. Waifu maybe number 3, maybe? I don't know. Like, she was the original android, so... Well, no. No, she's ST200. So who was ST100 then? Who was the very first model? This is 2022. So this is 4 years from now. Huh. Okay. Very interesting. Oh, here's Simon. Or Daniel, excuse me. And here's the captain guy. Only got to see him one more time in the game. Jimmy Peterson. Oh yeah, that's right, he's a bar owner. Have you heard of cardio? Just some goddamn cardio. Less donuts. Please? I mean, you're cleaner than Hank, though, but, you know, please? Then there's this guy we saved. Chris was to become a father. Which is still goddamn stupid. So this is the cop that at the beginning Daniel shot, right? He's gonna bleed out. We healed him, or helped him. Then, depending on what happened, is if on that street, if you either shot the two, like he killed androids, which what the hell, bro? Like why? You were upsetting me. Like in our end playthrough, we killed him and I didn't know. I didn't know. And there's this guy. Who does this guy look familiar as? He looks like that cop from the show with Stephen Urkel. Just not as big. At least sideways. And there's this piece of shit. Moving on. Oh, nope. Nope. Second piece of shit. Come on, we couldn't even get a live version of this guy? Hold on, let me zoom down. Holy Jesus Christ. Hi. I'm every PUBG gamer known to date. Oh, and incoming hate from the PUBG community. So he's an unemployed resident. He has a criminal record for theft and public disorder. Did you not... I have a question, okay? Like, you know they sell shirts bigger than that, right? Jesus Christ, you're ugly to look at. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, there's this guy. The guy that killed him. I don't know whether to thank you or ask what the hell. I mean, I get it, your owner abused the shit out of you, but... Which this guy really sold his like, emotions and everything. Like, he really sold it. Carlos has eaten too many Doritos and Mountain Dew. Oh, Jesus, no shit. Pedro. Oh, this was the guy that was in the cell. You could free him, which we did, and then he knocked the Parker guy out. Hey, Sumo! Look at that, they even gave him a tingle! Because that fucking mattered about an anatomically correct dog. Holy shit, look at his mouth. That is like the deep, never-ending void. God, so many things that dog has probably eaten. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Hold on, let's wait for it to pan back over. The void. The void of doggery. Come here, boy. Jesus God. Nope, we're not zooming down there. What the fuck? Oh, weighs 170 pounds, 29 inches at the shoulder. He stopped moving. He's still panting. I don't get it. Did we break Sumo? Was Sumo an android this whole time? Oh, there you go. Yep. Alright. She is the 400 model. Not bad. This one was the other model. Apparently Tracy loved Tracy. Okay, keep this in mind. They were lovers. And they were technically sisters. I mean, technically, hell, if you want to really think about it, twins. I mean, what's going on? What's going on? After murdering a violent client, she decided to run away with other Tracy, whom she fell in love with. Oh my god, this is her with an outfit. Okay. Like wearing 6 levels of clothes, Rupert. I'm trying to remember. Oh, Rupert was the guy we chased and we either chose to save Hank or we didn't. Yeah. And there's this guy from the broadcast. You know, before suiciding or beating the shit out of Connor and trying to kill him. Ralph! Ralph! What did they do to you? Like, I know people beat the shit out of him. And... Hi, you fat... What is it up with people being fat and villainous? Why? Oh, this poor thing. To recreate an extinct or endangered species. The aim was to equip zoos, particularly in large cities, to allow children to discover animals that no longer existed. Damn. That sucks. Like, what the hell is all with that? Like, is this, like, his experimentation? Like, what in the hell? Are you pent up? Like... Oh, man. God, look at that, though. The circuitry and everything. That's sad, though. Hi, guys. Say hello to the extinct bear. We can't even zoom out. That's how big this thing is. We can zoom in. Look at that sad eye. Hold on. In 2018, you could have saved this poor creature. But, because of your idiocy and need for McDonald's on a constant daily basis, they're dead. Congratulations. Moving on. Hey, it's Jerry. Who's frozen in place, Jerry. Then there's Jerry, after he, you know, was thawed. Isaac Falloon. Oh, the bus guy that told Kara to get off. I mean, it's amazing that just simple things like this. Like a clerk. Oh, this guy was formerly an art history student at the University of Detroit. To finance his studies, he works at night in a 24-hour convenience store on Detroit suburbs. The owner is suspicious of androids and prefers giving his money to humans rather than paying a fortune for one of those lousy machines. Interesting. You know, for someone who goes to a university, you're not really goddamn smart, and you're kind of like one of those people that doesn't like progression towards the future. You know, kind of like when they thought, oh my god, the steam engine was gonna, you know, destroy America. Well, we're not destroyed. Yeah, don't worry. Trump's working on it. There's a night receptionist at the Eastern Hotel. Why are you wearing kind of like a bulletproof vest? I mean, it's not, but then it looks like it. Like, you are shady as shit. He held on his job since 2018. In 20 years, he's seen all kinds of customers and weird people. Nothing surprises him anymore. His greatest pleasure in life was listening to Motown. Ooh. Nice. I like this guy. Damn, it's too bad we didn't go to the hotel then. Shit. Andy. This guy is just very lackluster. I'm assuming this is through another playthrough, because I don't think we ever met Andy. I mean, clearly he doesn't even have a last name, so he's expendable. Oh, and this piece of shit. Yeah, religious people. You're kind of like the guy who called us in Captain Spirit saying, hey, would you like to talk a moment about Jesus Christ? And 198 pounds my ass. If you're 198, then goddamn, I am a toothpick, sir. Oh, this was the... Yeah. He was giving food out. Oh, he's 187. Someone who did Detroit Becomes Human does not know anything about weight. This guy's 165. Look at the difference between him. No, we're going back. 22-pound difference. My ass. This guy is a drug addict and has no weight on him, and he's 165. The other guy is 22 pounds more. Well, this confirms... No, I'm a person of intellectual mind. I want to believe, much like Einstein, that there is a great creator out there. But I hate when religion stifles humanity into, oh my god, gaming is corrupting, it's the tool of Satan. And no, it's just stupid. It's really stupid. There's the Oracle. Now this I want to see. Hold on. No, her ball is missing. Remember, there's the ball. It's a CPU core up here. Unless it dropped down into, like, her neck? Because that's... Remember, she's like the Oracle. Look at those eyes. My god, she's a tool of Satan! Don't look! Look away! Look away! Look away! At her interesting outfit. What model is she? A 900. So she was specially adapted for providing social care. She was designed to help broken families, victims of intense trauma, or psychological disturbed individuals. After being violently assaulted by a psychotic patient, Lucy was left for dead. Despite several damaged skulls, she managed to come around and save herself. So she came out of the graveyard first. So if you want to think about RA9, technically she could be the first. What? Oh, this was the guy in the graveyard. God, they beat the shit out of this guy, man. Marcus encountered Phineas. Yeah, this is the guy that was like, find Jericho. Find it. Rosanna. Oh, the anchor woman. Meh. There's the other one. New blood. I wouldn't bang her. She doesn't even have a booty. Oh, Jesus. Look at it. Wow. You are more robotic than the fucking androids. Oh my god. Then there's a cop. Hi, I'm just here to do my job, okay? That scope on the front kind of looks Resident Evil-ish, doesn't it? That's very interesting. God damn it, stop following me around! Oh my god. So is he an android? That's what I'm wondering. It doesn't say weight, it doesn't say birth. I think it's an android. Then there's a human cop. At least I think. Doesn't say number, it doesn't say height, doesn't say weight. I don't know, it could be an android for all we know. CSI officer. Oh, it's you. God, look at the lens flare. Even when you go like, watch. Meow. I'm looking for people. Again, what is up with... I mean, I get it. They're basing it off of real shit because, like, every single cop you see anymore has a waistline. At least for some of the... These guys don't seem to have them. These are those specially trained CyberLife guys. Like, you talk about a sniper could take your ass out wearing all that white. Oh, I'd love you as a sniper. I'd actually love you too. Except the question is how bulletproof is that helmet? So these are androids. Oh no, it's a human combat. But the androids, 80% of them are androids. Interesting. Then they got this guy. Lambda outfit? That's that new android that was going to replace us all. We sure showed them. And there's this guy. Which, he gave his life for Marcus, man. Perfect matches, definitely. Yeah. And there's this girl. Android's commercial outfit. I like that model. That model's alright. Hey, it's Luther! Yeah, this guy's mainly construction and shit. Though I'm sure some women were like, nah, I need this guy. I need this guy. He's got such big, strong arms, and he's just, oh, look at that package! He can deliver that package anytime! What do you mean he was found? Just a random nobody. Then this guy who was in the Eden Club, but also the guy... So this is one of the people. His name's Tracy, too! Really? Wow, so they couldn't think of anything new, you know, more original. Like their female equivalents, they are equipped with full functional genitals and are designed to fulfill all fantasies. The most common to the most exotic. Really? Because I have a question, sir. I have a question. If a woman comes to you and she wants to bite you, you don't bleed blood. You bleed blue goo. I don't think your blue goo tastes good at all. I'm just saying. Well, let's see. The most sophisticated models can be mainly found in the Eden Club, a chain of android sex bars scattered throughout the country. So I'm wondering what they'll have in Cyberpunk, by the way. 2077. I'm sure women are going to be like, can you go ahead and pan him? Nope, still want the Luther model. I mean, if I want some white chocolate, I'll just come to him. But yeah, I'd rather have a Luther. Oh, here's some chocolate for you. This is the chocolate model for, you know. Not bad. And her name's Tracy too, because they couldn't think of anything original. And not to be confused with her female police department counterpart. What the hell is up with the hold on. What the hell is this? Like, is that seriously a fucking warning label on her neck? Really? 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 Warning. Does not have a gun. May use handcuffs. Ooh, I'm scared shitless of this one. Can you go back to the mark? Oh, God. Oh, who in this? Zlotko's. Oh, this is the... where he was experimenting. Okay, we're gonna go for the android apocalypse, and I need to see a bunch of those coming at us. Condemned to water in the phenomenon of the madness. They see Kara and Alice as their last breath of... Like, look at his eyes. Hold on. Just imagine that running at you. Run! It's very interesting. It's a little bit different than the other models. Huh. That's actually a bit different. That has to be like an original model or something. It's just more metallic. I mean, I like it. It's just more... It's just very interesting. That and black. Who in the... Oh, just a random schmo we run into. I am Vegeta, the Saiyan Prince. I stopped training when Kakarot became a god. Oh, Vegeta. God damn it. I shouldn't have made that joke. Because I'm a hardcore Vegeta fan too. Average citizen, average age. I was going to say, if you're average, my ass. You ain't even average in my damn timeline. Citizen, younger. He was the guy on the thing that was like, oh my god, the android. They were getting shot down. Brought to you by Futuristic Beats. Though they don't look as stylish. Maybe an off-brand. It's interesting, they even got the scar on his forehead. Kind of like it. I'll take Marcus over Luther any day. We never saw any civilian kids! Unless we just did not pay attention to them. Hi, I'm Captain Spirit. You look nearly identical to that kid. Holy shit. Like, I'm sorry. My dad's a piece of shit. He drinks all day, and my mom left in a very sad and emotional way. Oh, remember this? Hi. It's a fucking pigeon. Like, the detail they put into even pigeons, man. Like, look at that little guy. Then you can show the list. We went back to the kid for whatever reason. Did we? No, we zoomed down. Alright, magazines, survey. We went over the magazines. Soundtrack, we're not going to go over because they'll copyright us if we listen to anything other than to the original composer. So I guess we'll end with this. So let's see where the survey has updated since people's last playthroughs. Would you ever consider having a relationship with an android that looks like a human? Yes. Oh, wait, it was scanned too bad. Do you think that technology would become a threat to mankind? I still say yes. It depends on whose hands it's in, though. If you delivered on a desert island. Whoever, and I swear to Christ, I want to meet the people. I'm still livid about this. Console, 12%. 1, how are you going to play it with no TV? 2, how are you going to play it with no power? 3, you're an idiot. Do you consider yourself a dependent on technology? Yes, I think we all are right now. Everybody's dependent on television. What technology do you most anticipate? Brain connected. Androids, I would like, but brain connected, I want to be able to sit and play a video game. Because if you put a cerebral chip inside my head, and it was able to beam out the information, like if I was to go and I was to say, I would like to press the thing to go right, it's going to do it far faster than the signal sent from your brain all the way down to your finger. So by the time your hand even twitches, you're gonna be on the next screen completely. Do you believe in God? Yes. See, you said I was an atheist? No, I believe in it. I just don't believe in religion should dominate how society works. Would you let an android? Yes. I think Kara was a fantastic example of why an android would work. They'll even protect them in case I went cuckoo for Cuckoo Puffs. How many times per day would you say you spend on electronic guys? Typically, when I don't have to stream or do videos, an hour. Honestly, an hour. I like nature. I really do. If you need an emergency surgery, yes. Do you think one day machines could develop consciousness? Yes. Oh, I would love it. I wanted to share this during the video we had. I actually started, pretty much I came through the birth of computers and Sega Genesis and Atari, and I came up through all that. I had developed a program back when there was B drives, and it was this is gonna sound so cheap and so sad, and yet so just you are a loser. Okay, so I developed a little program that would talk to me, and it would say, "How was your day?" And I'd say, "It was okay," and it would have these lines that it would progressively give you depending on the situation. And at times, yes, it got repetitive. I mean, back then, you didn't have this shit to deal with. You didn't actually have artificial intelligence. It got repetitive. But at least it was someone you could actually talk to. And it was a program that you could, how do you feel about that? What do you, how was your day? How was the weather? It was just something that would automate, responses and things like that. Back then, that was something that would have been blowing the minds of people, but it was just something that I freely, developed for my own loneliness. Do you think one day machines could? Yes, I would love it. I would love it. Who's your favorite character? I'm still gonna go with Marcus. I wish they'd let you take the survey over again. But then people, I'm sure, would just buffer it. I still would go with Marcus. Marcus the art project with him and just Marcus felt like I feel like he felt more RA9 material, though Kara was up there too. I mean, she didn't lead no massive revolution and everything else like that. Connor, I don't think he was. I think he developed consciousness depending on the player. I think he was more in tune with the player than anyone else. I think Marcus at times just was not in tune with the player. Like, he was a very complicated, complex character, I'd have to say. But I still liked Marcus because he had errors. Like, our first playthrough, we f***ed that all up. Because we thought, okay, if we choose this, it's going to go this way. And you had to adapt to Marcus. Because it was, like, a very, like I said, complicated and complex individual. Was there a moment? Yes. Remember when we first started, if you go to our first playthrough, hardly anybody had been through this game. And No was dominating. And I was like, who was? I'm so thankful it's in the, at least minority. I'm glad that people resonated well with this game. I'm really glad. What's your toughest choice? That right there, hold on, before we move on. That right there, when it first started, I was like, what the hell? Like, I actually had the thoughts, and I think I conveyed this on the stream. I was like, people aren't resonating with, like, choosing... Like, you're talking about slavery, or racism, not slavery, but racism was just... I mean, I get it, most of the people playing these games, you know, are under the 20 bracket, under the 30 bracket at the most. They're not going to be sitting there going, oh yeah, I remember, you know, having black and white bathrooms and remember this shit. And it's for people who, you know, hey, the androids went through that. The androids had the back of the bus, bitch. Get on the back of the bus. They had that moment. You know, they had there's Marcus being Martin Luther King. They had those moments that I completely resonated with. Toughest choice, still, Chloe with Connor. Alice's identity didn't bother me. The violent versus pacifist did bother me, but then it didn't. Like, that's not something I could see being a big thing, and yet 53% said that was the biggest thing. No. Deciding to choose, like, she was down on her knees, head pointed up at you, you got a gun, man, she's right there. So you're telling me that was like, I mean, it's not minority, but it is. Like, that's, I don't get that. I don't get it. That's really disappointing. That's really... Are you gonna talk to us? Hold on, let's see. If we go to chapters.
This is your story chart. It shows what parts of the story
This is where we could go back
and what parts you've missed. You can track the choices made by other players and do many other things besides.
Like, you can also go back since we've completed the game.
You can use this.
Let's say I want to play differently.
From any point in the story.
Yeah. This is nice.
The people who designed me recommend that you play through at least once without going back, no matter what happens. Either way, it's your story.
I like you, waifu number 3. Oh. Like I said, I might in the future play through this again. I might. But for now, I would have to really build up the audacity to go back and change what we've already done. I would really have to bring it. I'd have to loosen that up, man. That'd be tough for me. Going back and having Connor kill Marcus. Going back and having Connor do some of those things. So, who's your wifey number 2? Kara. Right? I think I decided Kara. I think it was Kara. So, by the way, in case you guys wonder, we'll be covering this here soon. So, right now, as we stand, for those of you who are going in my Discord, see, you guys get to make a difference if you're in my Discord. So, I put up a poll last night. And the choice was, because I thought today was Wednesday. It was a long day yesterday, so I thought today was Wednesday. And I'm like, oh, after the choice is chapter. So we did our Detroit Becomes Human. We're officially done with that now. We're completely done. So I put up the poll, a choice between Life is Strange, because Captain Spirit, and I've never played Life is Strange. I played the demo, but I never played Life is Strange. So that's going to be an all-new experience for me. Or Telltale The Walking Games, especially since the final chapter is coming out, as well as Life is Strange 2 is coming out in this September. So I put up the poll. Our lewd banana was for Life is Strange. We have 5 currently votes on that. Wow, okay, The Walking Dead is 5 too. Shit! Okay, so what I'm gonna do is there's the Nightbot link. I'm going to take a break, do a couple things. Let's see, it is... So knows that my tablet wants to display what time it is, because, you know... 4:30. It's 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. I will take about a 30 to 45 minute intermission. We will return back to Twitch, by the way. Damn, if it's still between 5 to 5, I'm gonna have to actually pull out a coin. So, if it's still 5 to 5 or tied at all, again, if you're not in our Discord, you're watching on stream, go vote. You've seen the links popping up. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll even export this to YouTube, but it'll be longer than 45 minutes, so no. By the time they get to cast their votes, it'll be over. So, I guess I'll have to flip a coin. So I guess heads will be Life is Strange, tails will be Telltale, funny enough. Tails will be Tails. Wow. Damn, 5 to 5. Because there's some people who thought they were real cute, and they voted Bikini. Bikini meant, hey man, join our Discord. Join our Discord, cast the vote. All you gotta do is use the emoji, it's up there. So we're 5 to 5. Man. Shit, I don't want to flip a coin. I'm kind of more tempted to go with Life is Strange, but then I do want to go through Walking Dead again. That was a wonderful experience. And then also, I'm wondering, do I want to stay on Twitch, or do I want to go on stream on YouTube? I'm trying to branch out on Twitch, and I'm thinking of 90% of me still twitching. Like I do the cool chill streams on YouTube for apps and things like that. It has a nice audience. We've always had like 20 to 30 people always tune in. Twitch, a little less. Like I said, I'm trying to branch out because YouTube, the bubble's popping, folks. It's really sad. The bubble's popping, and I want to get off the bubble. I want to get out before it pops. But, yeah. And then, so, Thursday, by the way, Chapters is not releasing any new chapters this week. I'm kind of sad, but I'm so fucking happy. We spend 12 hours doing content every Thursday. 12 hours, constant chapters, boom, 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 boom. And it gets a little exhausting. Yeah, there's no chapters. There's no chapters this week. They released a statement. There's no chapters. They were like, I know you're all a little shocked. Which, with all the content they've put on chapters, I'm fully fine with that. I'm fully fine. So, what I'm planning on doing is maybe a couple Diamond Editions. I'm falling behind on those, because I want to at least get It Lives in the Woods done. Even though it's kind of ancient now, but, and like I said, I don't want to be the choices guy. Here and there doing some Diamond Editions, that's cool and all, but I don't want to be just the choices guy. I want to branch out. I want to give you guys Detroit Becomes Human, fantastic choices type game. But again, I want to do things that I want to enjoy, and I want you guys to enjoy too, especially games that, you don't have access to. Cough, Detroit Becomes Human, Vampire, things like that. I want to do more with the community than just choices. I mean, I love choices, don't get me wrong. I love chapters, but I want to do more. So another thing is, literally, can we do this real quick? Can I show you? Hold on. We'll get the disc. I'll show you. This one is going to be quite a bit of content. Like, I even went out and I was like, Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. There was people saying they hadn't played it. I didn't really play Kingdom Hearts 2. I know I'm guilty. But a lot was going on, and at the time I got really obsessed with World of Warcraft, Diablo 2, and some other things. And I was like, I'll get to it, and I never got to it. So with this, I really hope they don't copyright the damn song. Which we're going to have to beware of in Kingdom Hearts. They won't copyright some of it, as long as it's used for commercial use. No. Let me turn it down. Wait, it got turned down, didn't it? Yeah, desktop. We'll leave like a whisper. We'll leave a whisper. Yeah, isn't that pretty? It's commercial use. I'm still in the first Kingdom Hearts. So, we have, with this edition, and these are games that we're going to be covering, we have Kingdom Hearts 1, we have the other games that came out, and then Kingdom Hearts 2, and then the two, these are main games that are play into Kingdom Hearts 3, is the reason why they released it in this edition. So, and then of course, sharing restrictions, go f*** yourself. As long as we mute like songs, I'll have to be very, advantageous on that and getting on top of that, just like I did now. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to covering these games. That's more things we're going to have to do before January, because January is a ton of content. Walking Dead have announced that they're doing their own Pokemon Go. What? No. Don't troll me like that. I don't know how you would do that. I honestly don't know how you would do The Walking Dead as a Pokemon Go game. I don't see how that would work. I don't see how that would work. So here's some games we used to have. We still got Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I wanted to get Xenoverse too. I love this game. I love the shit out of it. I got it on PlayStation. The monthly membership. Can't play it until we renew that. I love the shit out of that game. Gauntlet. Like, these free games were cool. Most of them I removed, though, but you still get to keep them in your library for when you renew your thing. So, but one of the games, Spider-Man. See, again, we're gonna have to differentiate between the two content or the two games. Like Spider-Man, right there. Spider-Man's coming out in September. The Walking Dead, the Life is Strange 2. Oh god, what was the other one? Overkill. Overkill's The Walking Dead. Fantastic Walking Dead game. I gotta cover that. Then January, there's like 4 games come out in January. I gotta cover those. Like, my god, the amount of content, and I'm trying to get shit done as quickly as possible. So, yeah. So that being said, I thank you all for joining me. We're finally done. We're finally, played. Yeah, that was last night installing it. Shut up. I gotta say, 9 out of 10 for Detroit Becomes Human. Wolf Among Us. See, I never played Wolf Among Us. I got it on my wish list on Steam. There's a lot of games that I don't own. That I have on. I have like 90 plus games on my wish list on Steam. But then I do have a ton of games I do own on Steam. Thanks to like Humble Bundle or GOG or free games monthly and things like that. There's a bunch of games that you can pick up that, like, again, I'm not going to play shit games. I only want to play good games that everyone is going to enjoy. So that's my whole goal. So, let's see, what is this month? Oh, well, I was trying to look at this. Oh, apparently it's sales for 50% off Mortal Kombat Division. Division wasn't a bad game. I have Division. I played a metric ton of hours in that. I actually did enjoy it. There's Vampire. Not a bad game, just something I would not want to pick up at full resale value right now. I gave it a 6. A 6 out of 10. I really thought about it. 5 out of 10. If I really think about all the issues, 6 out of 10. You know. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, Vault-Tec. No! I'm sorry, I will not be pre-ordering. No, that's one game I'm sitting on the fence about. No. Even though they released the multiplayer thing online. No, screw you. Call of Duty and Battlefield will never be played on this channel. I'm serious, they will never be played. So with that being said, I hope you all did enjoy the video. Remember to follow on Twitch. Subscribe would be awesome. If you do have an Amazon Prime, you do get 1 free monthly subscription. That does help out me and our community, because that immediately returns back to what I do content-wise. And then also, if you're following on YouTube, let's see, is it up? No, that's the thing I got triggered about. I was going to say you could sponsor me on YouTube, but only if I'm live streaming. Otherwise, there's no button yet. There's supposed to be, for the top 1% YouTubers right now, a button you can go to their channel, you can sponsor them. It's kind of like the Twitch subscription monthly. That's fine and all. It just sucks that it's a trickle-down economic bullshit, to where, YouTubers that you may enjoy right now, you can't really show anything unless you go down to, like, for instance, the description, where I do typically. Some people were asking me, you know, why don't you have a GoFundMe? Why don't you have a Patreon? Why don't you? I do. It is down there in the description below. It's been in the description below for a year plus. Another one for Streamlabs I have down in the description below. That's for when I'm streaming. You can donate. It takes a little bit less of a chunk out of versus like Twitch donating or YouTube donating. It takes a little less of a chunk out of the money that you guys donate. I forget what the other one was. Because, yeah, Streamlabs is the one that takes like maybe 5 to 10%. Usually Twitch and YouTube like take 30 to 50%. At least as long as you're like... Twitch has the partner thing that takes a lot less. They take then like 20 to 30%. I'm an affiliate right now, so they take half. So goddamn stupid. But it's better than what YouTube does, which YouTube takes a big chunk. You know? So, that's one of the reasons why I have that loot.com in the description as well on most of my videos if I'm streaming, where it allows you to do a shout out on the video for yourself, and I usually will repeat what it says, you know, to give you the shout out. But it's a little ad that'll pop up in like the bottom left corner so far on streams. Unless it's something like Detroit Becomes Human or something visually where I want you guys to be immersed in the game, then I disable it. And it's free. It's completely free. It just helps out because I'm advertising a game in a corner. So then it helps out. It's nickel and dimes really. It's drops in a bucket. But when you add them all up, it does help. Yes, half. Half. And yes, I'll be coming back, like I said, in about 30, 45 minutes, basically. If you're in my Discord, I always post links on Discord, Facebook, as well as all my social media accounts. On Twitch, they're down there in the below. On YouTube, they're in the description. But yeah, half. Literally half. I'm serious. So if you donate $10 on YouTube, literally YouTube takes 5. Gotta love it, don't you? YouTube, they don't get enough fucking money out of this, do they? Like, literally, hey, you've aired this commercial for Coca-Cola. We're gonna, like, say, for instance, let's take PewDiePie, for instance. You get 1 million views for that commercial. You thinking Coca-Cola's paying a buck? Nah, Coca-Cola ain't paying no fucking dollar. They're paying far more than $1. But PewDiePie, you know, I'd say, my mathematical equations, because I do this in my head, for every 1,000 is about $5. For every 1,000 views is about $5. In my head, I'm doing this. I'm sure it depending on if you're in that premium tier or not, because PewDiePie once was until he said the N-word, and then also the New York Times did that big racial thing on him about how he was a white supremacist and all that crap. No, you don't know what satire shit is, but shut the hell up. So if you're in the premium, oh, you get a majority of that. But yeah, do you have a PayPal? I can do direct. Yes, I have PayPal. Like I said, Streamlabs is hooked up either straight to PayPal or they take like literally like a couple percent. They take far less. You'd have to look specifically. I think it's maybe 10% tops. I'd have to say out of all the donation services, Streamlabs so far is the best that I've seen. So yeah, well PewDiePie, yeah, he did screw up. I ain't gonna give him, but I think some of the stuff they did blow out of proportion. They did blow some. Not all. I mean, the guy's fully guilty. He deserved what he did. But then you've got people who say the N-word and nothing happens. Cough Ninja. Cough every single non-white YouTuber that's ever used the N-word. Cough, unless you're pretty much famous, you can say it all you want. I'm never going to say it. Like, I sit here and every time I censor, like, there'll be once in a while the F-word will get out just because I'm like, you know what, censoring, off, and I say it. But most of the time I'm sitting there and I'm like, you can go yourself. And I'm saying it, my lips are saying it, my vocal cords are not reverberating to where you're hearing it. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm literally moving my lips. If we were on camera right now, you would get to see me say it. But I censor myself. Every time there's a curse word, it's, you can go yourself. And you don't hear it. YouTube can't flag it. Twitch can't do anything with it. You know, because if you say too many obscenities, then they can age gate your, you know, crap. And, yeah, they can screw you over that way. There's so much crap. There's so much. You gotta dodge. And that's why I try not to stay very political at all. I don't really do things to criticize others or anything like that. Because it's a landmine, really, anymore. And especially when you're a small YouTuber. If you're big, oh, you can do whatever you want. Philip DeFranco does it all the time. Boogie298 does it. PewDiePie, Ninja, all these people, because you're big. You're too big and you got too big of a community. You can do whatever the hell you want. But if you're a small-time YouTuber, oh, you can go yourself. No, we ain't gonna fly with that. If your community's big, cool. If your community's small, and I don't give a shit. I'm not here for PC SJW crap where I'm Mr. Contemporary Friendly. I'm here for honesty. I'm here for moral gameplay. I'm here for awesome gameplay. I'm here just to have fun and doing what people should be doing instead of kissing everyone's ass. God, it pisses me off. It really does. It really pisses me off because you know what? We've developed so many people who are soft. Think about it. We got people who complain about Starbucks cup, Reese's candies, all this other shit. We live in such a soft time. Soft people. So soft. You might hurt their feelings. And you do it all the time, too. You do it all the goddamn time. You make one comment that's in the gray area, oh my god, you have lost that person. They start riots against you. But anyway, it's just so stupid, and I hate soft people. I really do. I hate soft people. Well, you know what? I don't hate them. If you're a soft person with at least an open mind, I'll accept you. If you're a soft person who is ignorant as all shit, you can get the out of my life. Like, no. Can't do it. But with that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy the video. Like I said, 30-45 minutes. I'm going to flip a coin if the vote does not get untied. I'm also going to see, like, real quick. Let's see if there's any duplicates. Let's see. Little me. Well, I voted because I needed to stick the emoji out there. No, there's no duplicates. Damn, it's actually tied 5-5. Like I said, go to my Discord. Vote that shit. 5-5 right now. Lewd Banana is one. It's for The Walking Dead. Or Life is Strange, I'm sorry. And then The Walking Dead is my locum. So it's just literally my name. So yeah, vote. With that being said, I hope y'all did enjoy. I aim to entertain, aim to have some fun with you folks. Stay tuned for either one of those. We're going to jump off the PlayStation. That'll be strictly on PC. We'll be airing on Twitch. Tell your friends, tell your family, share the channel. When I come back, we'll be, playing one of those two games. And then look for in the future. Kingdom Hearts. We got some other games that I'm sure I want to mention, but I'm totally drawing a blank right now because I need some coffee. So that being said, thank you all for joining me. And I will catch you all in the next stream. Peace, folks.